Welcome to the Eric Avasar Show. Now time to talk about the last 8 games taking place in March Madness on Thursday. Great lineup ahead of us to start things off here. We have Florida taking on Nevada. The Gators are led by Kevon Allen and Jalen Hudson. Those guys pale in comparison to the likes of Caleb and Cody Martin. The Martin twins are such great ball handlers, fantastic at shooting and attacking the basket. Both have great NBA futures ahead, and the same can be said for the bruising Jordan Caroline. So I really like Nevada to win and win big here. They are definitely going to cover the 1.5 point spread, barring something really shocking. That's probably the most confident pick I have out of this particular slate of games. Now Kentucky is going to take on Abilene Christian. It's kind of a case of, the Wildcats can win by as much as they want to, but my gut tells me they're not going to cover the 22.5 point spread because PJ Washington has been in a walking boot this week. My understanding it is a precautionary measure, but it would be fair to say that he will not be 100% in this game. Then again, if Kentucky wants to, they can get all those points from the likes of Tyler Harrow, Keldon Johnson, Ashton Hagans, so many stars on that team. But if Washington was fully healthy, I'd be a little bit more confident in a runaway. So I am unconfidently picking Abilene Christian to cover that spread. Now, St. Mary's is in this field because Gonzaga was not motivated in their conference championship game. Make no mistake about it, the Gales are a bid thief, and while they have a gritty team that I've seen work extremely hard, they're not talented enough to take down a team that also works hard and is more talented with the likes of Villanova, led by veterans Phil Booth and Eric Paschal. Jay Wright is the master of having the Wildcats prepared to be successful on a consistent basis, and I really like Villanova to cover the 4.5 spread and win this game comfortably. Speaking of Gonzaga, the Zags are 26.5 point favorites against Fairleigh Dickinson University, and it is a fairly ridiculous matchup for FDU. The Zags can win this game by as many points as they want, with the likes of Rui Hachimura and Brandon Clark leading the way on their path to NBA stardom. The question is, will they take their foot off the gas in the second half when they have a huge lead? I will not so confidently say that the Zags will cover this spread because they have that bad taste in their mouth from their conference championship final. However, FDU could make a backdoor cover if the Zags rest their starters for the majority of the second half, which is a realistic scenario. Now, Michigan is going to take on Montana for the second year in a row, which is kind of disappointing to see the committee put a second matchup together like that. The Grizzlies shouldn't be forced to play the Wolverines again. Here we are, though. So, while Montana has a decent team, I like Michigan to cover the 15.5 point spread. Ignas Brazdeikis is the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, a one-and-done guy who's going to go first round in the NBA draft, and they're going to shoot lights out with guys like Jordan Poole, who hit that incredible game winner last year against Houston, and Charles Matthews, not to mention Xavier Simpson running the point with that aesthetically pleasing hook shot of his. So I do like Michigan a lot in that one. Now, in terms of a great matchup between Seton Hall and Wofford, people have really been counting out the Pirates, it seems, and I think that's a terrible idea. Wofford deserves their ranking, don't get me wrong, and Fletcher McGee could very well be the best three-point shooter in all of college basketball, but Miles Powell is something else. He is so talented with an incredible work ethic, just an insane motor that he's going to bring, and he's just going to bring that refuse to lose mentality. I truly believe that he's going to will the Pirates to victory and grab that bounty. So give me Seton Hall to win that game. Now, ODU taking on Purdue, an interesting 14 versus 3 game because Carson Edwards has been under so much pressure to carry the Boilermaker team throughout the season, and he can and will do that. I expect him to do so, but Purdue 13.5 point favorites, I don't see them covering that spread. ODU has two really good scorers with BJ Stith and Ahmad Kaver, both averaging over 16 points a game. They're going to be really motivated to fight for head coach Jeff Jones, who's been battling prostate cancer, an amazing story, as Jones has now taken 3 different schools to the big dance. I like ODU to keep this close enough to be a solid betting selection for this game. Now, in terms of Baylor going up against Syracuse in the 8-9 matchup, Makai Mason for Baylor. Talk about an interesting full circle, going from taking down the Bears when he was at Yale to now running the show at point guard for Baylor. He's going to partner up with Tristan Clark to try to get this win, but I just don't see it happening for Baylor because, with Syracuse's famous 2-3 zone, they could certainly swallow up the Baylor offense with the likes of guys like Frank Howard, O'Shea Brissett in the paint, and then Tyus Battle in the backcourt. Cuse is going to get it done offensively, and they're going to cover that 2.5-point spread, feeling very confident about that pick. So, thank you all so much for tuning in, and best of luck with filling out your brackets.